Hi, my name is Josh Ibarra, and this is my video for AEP 855 Module 4. Looking at, the KISA information and the different rubrics, I'd have to say that our building is kind of in that transitional period, kind of the latter stages of it. We jumped into this, kind of just dove in head first about a year or so ago, and our counselor, our principal, and the person that is in charge of all of our career and college readiness stuff have done a magnificent job of getting us going in the right direction. Outside of that, as far as the R's are concerned, I think that we do a pretty good job in all areas, the relationships, the relevance, responsive culture, rigor, and then, we're waiting to see what our results are going to be here. And, once you start, we just started a year ago, we're really hoping that we get to that point. There were a couple of areas that I felt maybe we needed to do a little more work in, but for the most part, I feel like our school is very good, and our staff is very good about communicating not only with each other but with the students, as well as the community and what is going on. And we try and do even more with the community and with our parents, but sometimes they don't want to be involved in it, and they don't do their part in the whole communication process, and so that kind of slows things down. It's also hard when you're trying to convince kids the relevance if they're hearing from home that this stuff isn't that important. So, we keep doing what we're doing, and our, like I said, our staff and everybody seems to be working very hard with it, and hopefully we'll get better at it as time goes. As far as our principal is concerned, he is a fantastic principal. I've mentioned this over and over again throughout my classes. He's the main reason I'm actually doing or trying to get my master's and looking into becoming a principal. He and I actually started in our current positions at the same time. He had taught here for many years, but he became principal my first year. And it's been, I haven't known any other principal, I haven't had a principal as a boss outside of him, and he has been, the best possible leader we could have had. I think he's a situational leader. I also think he's an authentic leader. He just knows how to handle everything. It seems like there's nothing that catches him off guard. He finds ways to deal with everything, whether it's parents or students, staff members, whatever the case, and he does a magnificent job of dealing with it. After talking with him, not just for this assignment, but he and I have had many conversations in the past about our school and things that need to happen. The areas that I identified, or that we identified as being maybe not quite up to par or where we'd like them to be, or just needing work, would be component 3 of relationships, families, component 4 of relevance, technology, and then component 1 of rigor, which is career and tech education. And part of this, especially with the career and tech education, comes down to funding and being able to supply our teachers and students with the proper materials. We are one-to-one with Chromebooks, and I think the biggest issue we have with that now is keeping them going. We have a lot of them that get broke, but also just keeping not just students but the staff, more importantly, up to date on what can be done with those Chromebooks and the different programs. And I know that we have a number of people who work in our PDC program, or that are on our PDC committee, that try and get people to come in and talk about the different things that we can do for professional development as far as how to use those Chromebooks in different programs. As far as the different PSEL standards that go along with those, with relationships, component 3, families, I found standard 8, meaningful engagement of families and community. Effective educational leaders engage families and community in meaningful, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial ways to promote each student's academic success and well-being. I felt this applied to this one the most. And in our situation, probably G and H, and even possibly J. G, develop and provide the school as a resource for families in the community, opening the doors maybe and allowing maybe some educational opportunities for people in our community. That can be something we do. H, advocate for the school and district and for the importance of education and student needs and priorities to family and the community. Like I said, sometimes we're fighting the families and people in the community when it comes to the importance of education. Yes, four-year colleges aren't for everybody, but there's something out there for everybody, and we want to give them the best opportunities. And I always tell the kids it's about, having choices. The more education you have, the more choices you're going to have once you get into the workforce. And then the J, build and sustain productive partnerships with public and private sectors to promote school improvement and student learning. We do a pretty good job of talking to our business leaders here in town, setting up mock interviews for the kids and doing a work study program. But as far as the school improvement aspect, how many of them are helping us improve, whether it be technology or just our infrastructure here at the school? What are they doing? I think we can do a better job with that. My next standard would be standard 4, and this would go along with relevance, component 4, technology. So standard 4, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Effective educational leaders develop and support intellectually rigorous and coherent systems of curriculum, instruction, and assessment to promote each student's academic success and well-being. Specifically in our situation, E, which promote the effective use of technology in the service of teaching and learning. So, talking about relevance, technology is extremely relevant when it comes to the future of the workforce and getting our kids to understand that. And once again, having the staff understand what we can be doing with technology, and then being able to find money in our budget to buy the things we need. We just got a 3D printer this year. I think that's going to be a big deal for us. I think the kids are going to find that extremely interesting. But any other things we can do to promote technology, we've got to find ways to do that. And then the final one, rigor, component 1, career and technology education. So I looked at standard 10, school improvement. Effective educational leaders act as agents of continuous improvement to promote each student's academic success and well-being.
Kate Young, come to the office, please. Kate Young, come to the office.
Sorry for that interruption. But, specifically seek to make school more effective to each student, teachers, and staff, families, and the community. So when we're looking at career and tech education, what can we do to make our school more effective in teaching technology and preparing our kids for a career in the future? And that's not just, as it says, it's not just for each student, it's for each teacher and staff member, as well as their family members and the rest of the community. What can we be doing, whether it's teaching these kids how to use technology that they're going to use somewhere out in the world, or even come back to our community and make it better with whatever technology they're using. We have a gyp mill here where they produce wallboard, sheetrock. What things can we get them interested in that's going to improve that?